To help us understand comparing bits and pieces, problem 2.1, we were talking about chewy fruit worms or gummy worms, and we were talking about ways that we can split gummy worms evenly so that everybody in the group gets an even amount, an equal amount. So the question we want to answer right now is, what are 2 ways to show how 3 people can split a 4-segmented gummy worm equally? Now, it's very simple if we have 4 people in a group because each person would get a fourth. That would make things a lot easier. But what if there are 3 people in the group and they would like to share the gummy worm evenly? So let's talk about a couple of different ways that we can do this. Now, this would be a good time if you want to try this on your own to pause the video and maybe get a piece of paper and sketch this out and come up with your 2 ways. And then you can start the video back and check your answers. Alright, one way that we could do this that we talked about in class today was we can take each one of these fourths and cut each one of the fourths into thirds. Now we'll pretend like my lines are straight and this is perfectly even. Okay, so we can cut each of the fourths into 3 pieces. So that way each person gets an even amount. So person number 1 would get a third from each section, just like person 2 and person 3. They would get the same amount of gummy worm. I'll go ahead and show you. This is interesting writing with my right hand, as I'm a lefty. Okay, so everybody gets an even amount. Okay. Another way to show how we can split this up, and some of you had some really great ideas. You said, well, leave this piece alone, leave this piece alone, leave this one like it is, but then cut this one into 3 pieces. Pretty simple. So then you would still have person 1, person 2, person 3 each getting a third of that fourth of the whole gummy worm, but then person 1 would get this whole piece, person 2 would get this whole piece, and person 3 would get this whole piece. Alright, so that's just 2 ways. There may be more, and we can show each other in class on the smartboard and share with our classmates how we came up with maybe another solution that would also work. Okay, so what is the point of splitting up gummy worms and trying to see how we can split those evenly? Well, the whole idea behind this lesson is to understand unit rates. And unit rates are when rates are expressed as a quantity of 1. So like on the gummy worm problem, we were looking to see how much each person gets. Each person gets an even amount. So we were trying to find out how much gummy worm could 1 person get. So that's a visual way to understand unit rates. Some examples of unit rates you may hear. Common ones are like miles per hour, feet per second, and maybe something like money for something. Like an example is $5 for each meal. So when we see words like per or each, that should be a big clue that we're looking for a unit rate, especially when we're looking at ratios. So special rates that express a quantity of 1 are called unit rates. So just remember, unit means 1.